Welcome to the deep dive. You sent over a really interesting YouTube discussion this week.
Oh, yeah? Which one was that?
It's from EDP English Dialogue podcast titled Transform Your Life Today. Really dug into the mind-body connection and mental health awareness.
Ah, right. That one. Yeah, I had some good points.
Definitely. And that's kind of our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To pull out the core insights from what they talked about
Exactly. Understand how our mental and physical stuff are linked.
and what we can actually do about it
Yeah,
for overall well-being.
spot on. So maybe to kick things off, we should just clarify what we mean by mind-body connection.
Good idea. Lay the groundwork.
Yeah, it's essentially this constant back and forth between our psychological state, thoughts, feelings, and our physical health. They're not really separate buckets,
Right. They're always influencing each other.
constantly and in pretty major ways.
Okay, so let's get into that interaction a bit more. The discussion you shared, it used stress and cortisol as an example of mental state affecting physical health.
Yeah.
Could you maybe flesh that out a little?
Sure. So when we feel stressed, right, the body pumps out cortisol. Now, short term, that's actually okay, even helpful. Gets you ready for a
The
challenge.
whole fight or flight thing.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But the issue is when that stress just sticks around, chronic stress.
Okay.
When that happens, you get these prolonged high levels of cortisol. And that's where you see the domino effect.
Domino effect? Like what?
Well, for one, it can suppress your immune system, make you more likely to get sick.
Right, I've heard that.
And it can increase blood pressure, which isn't great for your heart long term. There's even a link to potential weight gain.
Wow. So just being stressed out mentally can actually physically change things in your body.
Absolutely. It's like your mind keeps your body on red alert constantly.
Yeah.
Very tangible effects.
That really paints a clear picture.
Okay, so what about the other way around? Physical health impacting mental well-being. They mentioned exercise.
Yes. Exercise is a huge one. Like the discussion pointed out, when you get moving, your body releases endorphins.
The feel-good chemicals.
Exactly. They act a bit like natural mood boosters, almost like a mild antidepressant. Some studies suggest you need maybe 30 minutes of decent aerobic activity to really get that endorphin kick going strong.
Okay, 30 minutes.
But it's not just endorphins. Exercise also helps manage stress hormones, adrenaline and that cortisol we were just talking about. It lowers the circulating levels.
Ah, so it actively reduces the stress chemicals.
Precisely. So being active, it's not just about fitness. It's genuinely powerful for improving mood, reducing anxiety, cutting down depression symptoms. It's a really strong lever.
That's great. Exercise is a natural mental boost. So, okay, knowing this connection exists, what about practical ways to strengthen it? The discussion mentioned mindfulness meditation. What's the gist of that? Mindfulness meditation, at its heart, it's about deliberately paying attention to right now, present moment,
Just focusing.
yeah, focusing, but also crucially, without judging the thoughts or feelings that pop up, just noticing them.
Okay. And how does that help?
Well, it's really effective for stress reduction and emotional regulation. By becoming more aware of what's going on inside, we get better at managing how we react to things.
Makes sense.
And like the source said, you don't need hours. Even just 5 minutes a day done consistently can start to make a difference.
5 minutes. Yeah, that sounds doable for most people. Okay, next up was deep breathing. They mentioned a specific technique, the 4-7-8. Why that pattern?
Right, the 4-7-8.
Yeah.
Deep breathing works because it directly taps into our autonomic nervous system.
Yeah.
The body's automatic controls.
Heart rate, digestion, that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has 2 gears, sympathetic, which is fight or flight, and parasympathetic, the rest and digest mode.
Okay.
The 4-7-8, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, breathing out slowly for 8, that long exhale is key. It helps stimulate the vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve,
Okay.
which is basically the main highway for the parasympathetic system.
Yeah.
So it slows your heart rate, brings on calm, reduces anxiety, and can even help clear your head.
Huh. It's amazing that just consciously breathing like that can shift your whole nervous system.
It really is quite powerful.
Then they talked about yoga, called it a mix of postures, breathing, and meditation. What's special about that combination?
Yoga is really valuable because it's so holistic. It's not just about stretching, though that flexibility and strength gain is great.
Right.
It's the way you consciously link your breath to the movements, plus the meditative focus it requires. That really helps quiet down the mental noise.
Ah, okay. So it tackles both body and mind together.
Exactly. And research backs it up. Yoga is pretty effective for easing anxiety and depression symptoms. It's a great way to look after your physical side while also building mental focus and, sense of calm.
Sounds really integrated. The discussion also touched on sleep. Seems basic, but maybe we underestimate it. Oh, massively. Sleep isn't just downtime. It's when the body does crucial repair work.
Yeah.
Your brain consolidates memories, processes emotions.
Right. It's doing a lot while we're out.
Totally. So when you consistently skimp on sleep, the effects ripple outwards. You're more vulnerable to stress, your thinking gets fuzzy, your risk for mental health issues goes up.
Yikes.
But the flip side is true too. Good sleep hygiene, regular schedule, good environment, boosts your mood, sharpens your brain, strengthens your immune system. It's absolutely fundamental.
It really hammers home how interconnected it all is. Okay,
Yeah.
shifting gears slightly. The source talked about mental health awareness. Why is that so important, especially with this mind-body link in mind?
Awareness is huge. First
Yeah.
off, it chips away at the stigma. The awkwardness or shame people sometimes feel about mental health struggles.
Yeah, that's definitely still a thing.
And when you reduce stigma, people feel more able, more comfortable, seeking help when they need it. Plus, understanding this mind-body connection itself raises awareness.
How so?
Well, when people get that mental health isn't separate from physical health, they're more likely to take a whole-person approach to their well-being and maybe seek help sooner.
That makes total sense. It stops us siloing things off.
Yeah.
And they also said awareness helps with prevention and early intervention.
Yeah, if people are more aware, they're better equipped to spot early warning signs in themselves or in others.
Catching things early.
Exactly, which can make a massive difference in outcomes, preventing things from getting worse. And more awareness can also push for more preventative stuff, like mental wellness programs in schools or workplaces.
So how do we actually promote this awareness? The discussion had some ideas.
It did. Education is key. Just getting good, accurate info out there about mental health, what it looks like, how it impacts us, workshops, talks, support groups, that helps build understanding.
Right, knowledge is power.
And then there's just talking about it openly, creating spaces where it feels safe to share struggles without judgment. That builds supportive communities.
Like normalization through conversation.
Yeah. And personal stories, like the discussion mentioned, can be incredibly powerful. They humanize it, inspire others. And finally, we need accessible resources, affordable therapy, counseling.
The practical support side.
Right. Advocating for better services, better insurance coverage for mental health. That's crucial too.
Okay, those are some big picture actions. Let's bring it back down to the day-to-day. What are some specific daily strategies we can use to nurture this mind-body connection?
Well, the source material gave a good list. Regular physical activity, obviously. Even just a daily walk counts.
Doesn't have to be a marathon.
Not at all. Then, mindfulness practices. Whether it's formal meditation or just, taking a few deep breaths during the day, prioritizing sleep, like we said, and watching your diet.
Diet, how does that fit in?
Nutrition plays a big role in mental health. Staying hydrated, eating nutrient-rich foods that can genuinely impact your mood and energy levels.
Interesting. Okay, what else?
Making time for hobbies, things you actually enjoy doing. Great for stress relief, boosting your mood, painting, music, gardening, reading, whatever works for you.
The fun stuff matters too.
Definitely. And social connections. Building, maintaining strong relationships give you that vital emotional support. Even just meaningful chats, quality time, it all adds up. And gratitude was mentioned too.
Gratitude, like being thankful.
Yeah. Consciously reflecting on what you're thankful for. It sounds simple, but it can really shift your focus from negative stuff to positive, cuts stress, improves outlook. A gratitude journal is one way to do it.
Simple but effective.
And finally, just good old stress management. Things like managing your time, setting boundaries so you don't get overloaded, taking proper breaks, preventing burnout.
It really is about building a sustainable, balanced lifestyle, isn't it? Where mental and physical health support each other. Now, a really important point they covered. When should someone think about getting professional help?
Yeah, that's critical. It's when things feel overwhelming, when sadness, anxiety, or stress are persistently interfering with daily life. Your work, relationships, just functioning day to day.
Okay. Are there specific signs to look out for?
The discussion mentioned things like trouble concentrating, major changes in appetite or sleep, pulling away from social activities, or maybe feeling hopeless a lot of the time.
Right, persistent signs.
If that's happening, reaching out to professionals, therapists, counselors, doctors is really important. It's not weakness, it's self-awareness. They have strategies, treatments that can genuinely help.
Absolutely. We need to normalize seeking that support. They also suggested maybe a smaller first step.
Yeah, if jumping straight to a professional feels daunting, sometimes just talking to a trusted friend or family member can be a really good starting point.
Just opening up.
Exactly. Sharing what's going on can lift some of the weight and maybe give you the nudge you need to seek further help. It's about taking a step whatever pace feels right.
That's really helpful, practical advice. So to wrap all this up, what's the main takeaway? The core message from this deep dive?
I think the bottom line is really clear. Taking care of your mental health isn't optional, it's essential. And it's totally intertwined with your physical health. They're two sides of the same coin.
Can't separate them.
Nope. Embracing that connection and, importantly, getting support when you need it that's fundamental for a healthy, fulfilling life.
Absolutely well said. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Just reflect on one small thing, one manageable change you could make, maybe even starting today.
Yeah, like what?
Maybe it's that 5-minute mindfulness practice or a short walk on your lunch break or, just calling that friend you've been meaning to catch up with. Just one small step to strengthen your own mind-body connection. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.